my favorite President Trump story. This is my number one favorite of all time.
Let me ask y'all a question, and it's not even about Trump at this point. But how come whenever they need the world to move around, or whenever they need the world to do something great or do something advanced, why they always need black people to make it happen? I want y'all to think about that. It's like we supposed to be the minority, but now that you see Trump that has made it through this big assassination attempt, all you see is black faces now. I just seen one video where a black woman was saying how good President Trump was when he was the president. And then at the Republican convention, it was a lot of black people speaking. Now they got black people talking about they Trump. So, I mean, it's so obvious that the minority is needed to make this world go a step further. And it's like we still, in year 2024, don't even know how powerful we are. And it's like our young generation, they already lost. So I ain't even worrying about them. But it's like, can't y'all see that the so-called minority is needed now more than ever? And every time when they need something to get done, they always put a minority face involved. Just like when they needed us to take the jab. They started showing minority faces taking the jab so we can take it. Now they need Trump to win. So what are they doing? They showing the minority faces in order to get the votes up. Now what if you ain't seen not near minority face? You would think that minority people don't got shit to do with it. And it was at one point last year, late last year, the world was mad at the minority people because we wasn't intervening in the things that was going on. And they was saying, well, how come the minority people is not fighting and standing up? Remember that? And we was saying, because we don't got shit to do with that. And it seemed like the minority people, they still don't know how powerful they are. And they always put a minority face or minority people in the center of the television, because it's a television. They always use the minority faces to get the point across or get the mission accomplished. And to me, it almost seems like that they know what they're doing. But they don't care. Because whatever money is getting paid, it goes to them and their families. And whatever the reason why they doing it is benefiting to them. And at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck about you. Like if they were to put me on TV and say, look, I need you to do this. And I know that it is against me. And I know it's going to lead my people astray. But fuck them people. It's about me and my family. I don't give a damn. And this is how a lot of minorities feels like. So who is really minority? And who is really the majority? Because if we are so much minority, then how come they need minority to make shit happen? How come they need the minorities to give the okay in order for the shit to happen? Like, who is really the minority and who is really the majority? And until we figure that shit out, and until we get into the realization of who we really are, this is why the majority of the earth is already doomed. This is why it's a very narrow road. And half of these people know what they doing. They know they selling their own people out, but they don't give a damn. Because it's like, fuck them. It ain't me. It's them. And then some of them feel like, well, if they understand the truth, and they know what's going on, they're not going to follow behind it. But when you got enough money, or when you in need, you was willing to sell out your own people. This is why Judah paid 30 pieces. He was only given 30 pieces of silver to betray his own people. You know how long 30 pieces of silver is? It ain't that much. So that means now you got to come up with something else to betray your people so you can get another 30 pieces of silver. Because right now, all these minorities that we see that is getting paid to betray their own people, believe me, it ain't shit. So sooner or later, they got to do something else to betray their people. And they got to continue to do something else. It's almost like they're slaves. Look, you work for us now to betray your people. And this is why the world is so astray. Because we are, well, not we, but a lot of people is allowing these people that is getting paid 30 pieces of silver to win over them and betray them. And half of them, they don't give a damn about their own lives. Because the first thing they say is, well, I'm going to die any fucking way. I'm going to die anyway. But you got to understand, a lot of us is not going to live again. A lot of us is going to get reborn. And we're going to be our full self. We're going to be alive. And a lot of us is going to have a second death. That means you will never exist. Ever. So if you got that mentality in your head, well, shit, I'm going to die anyway. You either going to live again or you're going to die. Now, I'd rather die in my full truth. I'd rather die into fighting for who I am and believing in what I believe in. I don't want to just die because I feel like, shit, I'm going to die anyway. Because what they have told us about death is a complete lie. The majority of us down here is going to have a second death. That means you will never live again. You will never know who you are. You will never be your full self. Because you dead. You will never live again. And very few of us is about to get reborn and live again. And live our full potential self. And be our full potential self. So if you one of those people that feel like I'm going to die any fucking way, then you go on and be led astray. But what gets me is that I see older black people doing this shit. I could see the younger people. But if you look at these black people that is betraying their own people, these people are my age. My age. And I'm 41. And I'm like, didn't you learn from watching your grandparents and your great-great-grandparents and watching Roots? Why would you even want to let yourself or allow yourself to want to betray your own people after all the shit that we've been through? Why would you even allow yourself to be put in a situation to betray your own people? And I wasn't even born back in a slavery time. You couldn't pay me to betray my own people. You couldn't do that shit. Because the thing that I've seen so far, I don't want my children to have to relive back in those times because I didn't live it. So now I am fighting for the truth. I want to live for the truth. I don't want to just do whatever I need to do for money or fame or fortune or to get a name for myself. And I'm betraying and deceiving my own people. Because that shit falls back on you. You may think you living large down here by betraying your own people and lying and deceiving your own people. But every life, listen to this shit, every life that you have deceived and you have betrayed and you have led astray, you are going to be accounted for every last one of those lives. So every life that you led astray, that's on your hands. You're going to be accounted for that. This is why all these people in the industry, the politics, all of these people, all these rich and famous people that is lying to y'all, leading y'all to straight to hell, that's on their hands too. Because they were paid to deceive. That's on them. And they got to live with that. Imagine living with that. That's a hell of a life. Imagine you killing a man. And every single day you reliving that moment over and over and over. That's beyond hell. That's beyond death. Every day you got to feel and see that man that you murdered every day. You got to see him. And you see him at his worst. That's like fucking beyond torture. And this is what they're going to go through. And you be dumb as hell to let these demons deceive you. It's a shame.